Does this one actually stop? Hello and welcome to the Stover Farm channel. I am so glad to have you here with us for this exclusive event. What a day, it's finally here. Agro Tohno's Lizard Silverado 3500 has hit all platforms and it is out and available for download. We finally have trucks from all three manufacturers represented in the game for all platforms: Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge. Now, there are going to be some amazing YouTube, FarmTube content creators that are going to take you through all of the options for these vehicles, the types of wheels, suspension, amenity packages, and lighting packages that you can purchase. That is not what this video is about. We want to know how these things perform, because let's face it, the F-350 left a lot to be desired many months ago. Fortunately, we have acres upon acres of available space to test this new vehicle. And what are we going to do? Well, acceleration, braking, does it brake? Road handling, pulling a trailer, power up and down hills, and we might even throw a little top speed in there. Now, I've traditionally done these in a very highly edited fashion. Yes, I used to love Motor Trend Television. I wanted to be an editor for that magazine for many years. I'm not going to do that this time. We're just going to focus on the trucks, performance. What the heck can these things do? And we're going to start off with acceleration. Now, something that I found really interesting is the sound of these trucks is great, by the way. But what is that? Well, if you think GM, they've got a Duramax, and then they've got that old venerable pushrod V8, and that, my friends, I think, is the 6.6 liter pushrod gas V8. I think it is, because it's rated at 401 horsepower, which is exactly what it's rated at stock. And this one is backed up by the venerable 8-speed turbo-hydromatic transmission. Let's see what in the heck it does. I've got this in, it's in all-wheel drive mode. It's in auto mode. And this is the 401 horsepower, 2 rear-wheel truck. 1-foot rollout. So performance maybe not up to standards on what the real truck is, at least for the base engine configuration, but I've driven all the configurations, and I think you will find the high-end 550 horsepower variant to be very similar to the truck that's actually on the road. And I got to get Agro Tohno some kudos here. All three of these trucks that I have, right? This is a single rear wheel base configuration, 401 horsepower truck. Over here, I've got a fully optioned dual rear wheel. This would be like an LTZ or a high country model with the 500 plus horsepower upgrade and the 6-speed automatic. Found that interesting. And then this is the extended suspension option with the 445 horsepower 10-speed automatic combo. So if we think about this in GM terms, I think this would be a 6.6 liter 10-speed with the GM transmission. Ditto that over here. And then this would be an upgraded version of the 6.6 with the old Allison 6-speed. And it's really cool because, like, the performance of this guy is phenomenal. All three of these trucks have very distinctive characteristics. They drive differently, they accelerate differently, they handle differently. Let's see exactly how the 550 horsepower variant does at the drag strip. Now, just for giggles, we're in the high lifted, this would be the medium grade option truck. This is the 445 horsepower 10-speed. Let's see what it does. 1 foot rollout, quarter mile. Now for the test everyone wants to know about. Can it brake 60 miles per hour to 0 in how many feet? For the base truck, a little under 100 feet. About 98 feet. Yes, it can brake. And how I'm conducting this test is really quite simple. I've just spaced out some cones at approximate 5-foot increments. We get the vehicle up to speed with cruise control to 60 miles per hour and slam on the brakes right at the line, and we see, well, where it stops. The F-350, the original Lizard, which was the Ford F-350, it had some major braking problems. It did not want to brake at all. When you got a trailer on it, things got scary indeed. So the base Silverado 2 rear-wheel truck did it in about a little under 100 feet. Let's see what this dual rear-wheel truck does it in. 60 to 0 braking. And a little over 100 feet. So right at 108 feet, 60 to 0. And I really like to see that. So there are differences in the performance of these vehicles depending upon how they are configured. And I'll take you over to the weigh station so you can actually see the weight that we've got on this. And while we head over there, you can start to see some of the suspension geometry as we're going up and over bumps. So with the truck and trailer together, we're almost 30,000 pounds. The truck itself weighs approximately 7,700 pounds, and the trailer here is right at 22,066 pounds. Let's see if we can do braking. I doubt I'll be able to hit 60 miles per hour on this. We'll just see whatever it is as I hit the line. About 50 to 0, coming in at the 150 foot mark on the nose. So it went about 108 feet unloaded, 150 feet loaded with 22,000 pounds. 22,000 pounds on the gooseneck, 1 foot rollout, quarter mile. Barely crossing the 60 mile per hour mark there at the shift to fourth. And some jackknifed, but I didn't understeer into the curve. That was fairly realistic. The figure 8 is a really good benchmark for overall vehicle performance because we've got acceleration, we've got some changes in the ground pattern, so it's not perfectly flat. We've got braking, we've got turning. And this truck wants to pull the back end around. It has a very sharp transition from what feels like understeer and going into like a lift-off oversteer, which I've actually not experienced vehicle dynamics like this in Farm Sim, which is kind of cool. So that was understeer. Whoa! Major understeer off into the ditch. And let's grab the dual rear wheel truck. So the highly optioned 3500. Let's see what this one does in the figure 8. Heavy understeer, but no awkward or, yeah, see, heavy understeer, pushing very right into the barrel. But what I'm not getting is that lift-off oversteer or that transitional oversteer. I'm just getting understeer. So there you have it. I have not driven a vehicle in this game yet that has that type of, I guess, again, dynamic feel to it. So we're in the snow, heavy understeer, but some nice drifts that you're actually able to perform. And I just completely ripped the rear axle off of it. Donuts in the snow, anyone? And the final test that absolutely has to be done is Elm Creek Torture Hill. We've got a running total of all the vehicles we've tested over the past year. How will this 3500 handle the grade? 22,000 pounds in tow, start the clock. A little bit of wheel slip there at the start from the front wheels. Up into second gear. Falling off there, having to downshift to first at the very top. And now will the brakes do their job? Full braking. And it wouldn't be a performance test if we didn't do a top speed run. Sheriff Tom Bonelli is very kind to us and gives us a few minutes here and there out on the main highway where his deputies just look the other way for us. So we're going to get down here to the first exit and just go ahead and loop around. What I have noticed about this truck, at least in the high trim, is I love the shifting characteristics of it. It's one of the more realistic feeling vehicles in Farm Sim, at least for all platforms. It has a rev range. It's shifting at redline. It sounds right. I don't know. There's something about it that just a lot of detail has been added into this truck, and there's been a lot of time spent making it right. And at 112 miles per hour, it's not the fastest truck in the game. That would go to the TLX 2022 with the max performance package at over 150 miles per hour, but 112 is not bad for a dually. And at the end of the day, I think all players, console and PC, are going to be extremely happy with this truck. Agro Tohno has put some time and effort into this to get the details accurate. From the Performance Testing Center in Elm Creek, you've been with the Stovers. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you next time, right here on the farm.